Yeah, I thought I told y'all, man, we don't need no ride in this game. Me and my homie gon' walk, baby. You feel me? Mr. Scales. Yeah, come on. Hey, yo,
right.
Check it. Hey, yo, yeah, that's what I said when I got in this game. Cause I don't gotta play the ad with a pocket of cane. Paranoid from them knocks trying to lock me in chains. I'm half baked in the lab, smoking top of the grain. I'm walk to the lot, about to cop me the range. It feels good cause I'm hood and stay hopping the train. Put the crime on the shelf, about to rock with the fame. Front page of the source with the watch and the chain. I'm walk in and out of them labels to keep it gangster. You know your man Graham heard a lot of the fakes. You can sound right here, nah, I'm not even able. You interested in the scale, what you got on the table? This nigga talking like 100 grand's open. 100 grand is nothing, we spend it on promotion. Thanks for your time, but I'm ending on this notion. Get your mind right, you niggas is smoking. Cause basically y'all not keeping it real. We need the 50 or the Cameron deal, that's like a meal. Biatch.
Find out you smoke,
Killers talking on this joint, yeah. My ever held on rock, the opposite got it.
We lost contact. I played this one.
Yeah, Jour, into the Dizzock, 1-6 Blizzard, so fly. Yo, I walked into this game with a sentence of flame. I ain't had to be at no record label mentioning names. Shit, before I had peach fuzz, I was building a street buzz. Hot like a teacup, and you don't wanna see cuz. It's smooth as a pimp, pursuing his limp. That speed cool in the sprint like he chewing a mint. I step to an event with a tool in the trench. Pointed at you, make your road dog say. Out of a courtroom, free of a charge. You meet with the sergeant, sing like Chico DeBarge. Street from the tars, make blood leak in your car. Put you above the cloud and beneath the stars. Shit, all me never. Frosty weather, I'm in the black quarter to 8 with the coffee level. And the problem thinking the bone. Probably think I'm swinging her home. But once I'm done, she's singing that song.
And yo, this is your man Killer Graham right here. We back with episode 93. We gonna call this Scribes of Life. There's no pen when we write it. There's no notes today. We're gonna wing this right here. I got my brother in the building, journalist, man, straight from South Philly.
What up?
16U.
Yes, sir. What's up? Yeah, actually, yes, sir.
That's
from the whole South Philly, but those are my days. My boys, 16U, absolutely.
That's dope. Juicy-Jaleen.
Hey, what's poppin'?
What's going on? What's going on in Camden? Everything good?
I don't know. I don't be outside.
You don't be outside like that? She always got the stank face on. I don't know what that's about. It's
juicy.
Yeah, it's all good. But listen, like I told y'all before, we got my man journalist in the building. These is one of these interviews that I look forward to doing because, you know, y'all may be like, who Jern? But guess what? This is a legend to me. This is my brother.
Respect.
I learned a lot from him. We ran these streets together before these deals came, before BET, MTV. Like,
grind
we was
days.
in the grind, in niggas' closets, doing freestyles, for mixtape DJs and shit like that. So we're going to talk about it, man. But we're going to go right into it.
Hanging up the Snipes days and all that.
That's true.
Remember that? Yeah.
We want to talk about what was it like growing up in Philly. Like, I think that when you do interviews, I never see you talk about, like, your upbringing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, was it 2-parent home, single mom, 3, 4, 5 brothers in the crib, one sister?
Right, Graham, dig in.
Go ahead.
Well, basically, coming up, man, I was born 5th Street Projects.
Right.
Single mom.
Okay.
That's where, you know what I mean, we was born at.
Okay.
You know, Gil had family down that area too.
Okay.
That's for sure we're talking about. But you know, like Fifth Street Projects was early on. It was my early years, so I really don't remember too much. But that's where all my family was from, right?
Okay.
So my father, you know, as I got older and I started, my biological father, as I got older and started figuring out, he was from 7th Street.
Okay.
Which is not too far from 5th Street, but like, you know, for years they kind of bumped heads for years. You know how that goes.
So he wasn't in the crib then?
No, not my biological.
Okay.
Nah. And as I got older, I kind of saw how things like that happen. But my father that raised me, rest in peace, like, you know what I mean, who I love dearly, he just passed a couple years ago.
Right.
He, you know, when I was 5, he came into my life at 5.
Okay.
Pop William, you know what I'm saying? So I was blessed I had 2 of them.
Okay.
But from there, you know what I mean, from 5th Street, we moved to, now only thing I remember from 5th Street Projects is me falling. Like this is when you remember the elevators was broken in Irving, you would fall down the elevators. So I damn near killed myself.
Damn.
Prime language, I almost killed myself, man. Like it was a cardboard box over a hole.
Oh.
This is like crazy. This is what I remember me being down.
That's some hood shit right there.
We was walking, and I fell like through the hole. The only thing that saved me was I caught myself.
Right.
I don't know how far I would have fell, but those are like the main vivid memory that I had from my childhood. But, you know, and this is why, you know, I wanted to touch on mental health as well, because for years we were separated without going into too much. Me and my brothers. Yeah. I got a few brothers, but the brothers that I live with from my mom's side, we were separated from abuse, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So I was like physically abused as a kid.
From a stepfather?
From my youngest brother. Okay. Exactly. My youngest brother, he was like 1 at the time. Right. When my stepfather came into my life. Right. So that's my youngest brother, father. Okay. That's all he know. Yeah. But so. And I said that because when we were separated, I had to move back with my aunt down Fifth Street. Right. So those years, I went back to Fifth Street, Fifth and Carpenter. Okay. So I did, you know, some of those years, I probably blocked out just from the trauma. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, you know, fast forward, and then we moved to Cross Broad, which is like 15th and Bainbridge. Right. That's where I met Sho and them. Okay. Sho was a little younger. But me and Sho older brother, we always hung out and played.
And which one is that?
That's Kenyatta. But
okay,
you know, Face.
Okay, Face is the
middle brother.
Oh, he the middle brother.
Sho's the youngest, right?
All right, got it.
But me and Yada. So, but you know, we all just used to hang. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you know, that was like my 9-year-old years and stuff like that. But then my preteen and coming of age years, that's when like I moved like to Montrose Street. Okay. So when I was 12, I moved to 16th and Montrose. Okay. And those was my years of like coming of age. Yeah. You know, when I was doing my hustling and doing whatever. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I was doing, but as a child, when I was young, man, I was real to myself, man. Like I had a lot of anger and rage. Right. You know, as I got older, I see why. You know what I'm saying? From the abuse and stuff, but you know, I was just always a loner. Right. And I had like detachment issues because of the separation and stuff like that. So you know, you know what I mean? A lot of that was I don't remember too much of the childhood, but going from like 9-year-old to, you know, my teenage and further on, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so when did like, you said that you grew up with your brothers, but y'all was separated, but when did hip hop come into your life? Like who introduced it to you?
Actually, good question. My man Scab, brother, you know my man Scab. Yeah, I think you met Scab.
I probably met.
Yeah, my man Scab. So, you know, I met Scab in when I first moved around Montrose Street. Right. Scab, my man Aaron, he was the only one I really knew. Right. From we went to E.M. Stan. So his older brother, Walt, always had the best stereo system in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? So he had the Kenwood speakers, loud joints. Every CD that came out, he had a whole wall full of CDs. So when I used to go over there to holler at Scab, you know, we'd just slide and walk with him. You know what I'm saying? He had, you know, he was our old head kind. Right. You know what I'm saying? He's the first one to introduce us to like the chicks and tell us about the chicks and stuff. So we always like to be under him. Okay. So long story short, he would play music. He'd play different type music. And I would just read the CDs like, damn, I said, okay, you got NWA. I see NWA, Ice Cube, DOS Effects. Be going down like that.
That's wild.
So you know, I would hear like everything from Public Enemy to what's the other boys, Blue Cheese. Right. So you had just a spectrum from the hardest of rap to like the commercialists of MC Hammer. So that's where the range came from. Like I would just listen to, we'd be playing a Nintendo or Sega or whatever, and I'd just be listening to that music.
And did you start rhyming around that time, or like you just kind of like had your favorite MCs you listened to?
That's what it was. Yeah. Because that's when I just gravitated to the different variety of hip hop. Right. Excuse me, because before then, we had Run DMC, Cool G Rap, Big Daddy Kane in that era. Before like me and my man Walt, you know, my way Walt, because so that was the spectrum there. So I would listen to that and I would try to write like Cool G Rap. I remember that. Yeah. But I you know, it was something like
Cool
like
G,
far-fetched.
That's a hard style to mimic though.
But it was too far-fetched. But then when I listened to like, you know, Pete Rock, CL Smooth, Common. Right. Common first album. I heard all this stuff around Walt House. Okay. The Grayson and Jason. I don't know if you remember them. Grayson and they yeah, it's like, but you know, they was like what people would call like hard rap. It was like the first kind of hard rap.
That real hip hop.
Yeah, Freddie Fingers.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about like real criminals, like
Right,
niggas that
right.
was like locked up, like
Okay.
Booyah Tribe and all of them. You know
And
what I'm
those
saying?
are guys you was listening to.
I was listening to them, but then it was just a variety.
Yeah.
But so I gravitated to the music. I just love the music. You know what I
Right.
mean? The craft of it. So I'm
Right.
like, damn, it's like the whole experience. And I'm thinking like that, it helped me push a lot of my past rage and
Yeah.
anger. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
So it was like an escape for me.
Yeah, that kind of helped.
So,
that
you know what I mean?
happened with me too, because I grew up. I had the crazy stepdad and all that shit too. So I would write rhymes to escape
Exactly.
from me
Exactly,
dealing with him.
bro.
So
Yup.
I definitely can
Yup.
relate to that. But
Because it's an art.
yeah, it's an
form.
art, and
Yeah.
honestly, it kind of helps you from going to sit in front of a therapist when you can go
Exactly.
and
It's your
express
own
that
therapy. That's
and
fact.
get that pain on
Big
on,
fact.
on
Big
paper.
fact.
So when did you know you was nice? Like when did you get to the point where you like, yo, I'm nice at this joint? Like was you the type of rapper where you just rap for your folks, or and just your brother in the crib, or was you outside?
It's funny
ciphering and doing all of that.
I never rap for nobody.
Okay.
Because I wasn't confident in my raps.
Right.
So when for like years, it would be like guys around my way, like Rahisi,
Right.
Fat Freak, he called himself.
Okay.
Rest in peace. He passed a couple years ago. But Rahisi was like the hottest guy around the way. You know what I'm saying? I think him and Beans at one point was rapping together. They was like a group or something.
Right.
Then you had Nickelback. But everybody used to say Rahisi, right? That was like the bar. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I was like, I know my stuff ain't really that hot. So it was my man Putt, my man Rocky.
Okay.
Who he went schizophrenic a few years before he passed. He passed.
You got that mental health thing all around.
Exactly,
and
bro.
We
gonna
talk
get into
about
that,
it though.
Yeah, that's fact,
crazy.
though. That's fact. But my man Putt, that's when I started knowing I was nice. He was like my Lord C's. Like,
Right,
you know
right,
what I
right.
mean?
And he
He's
just-
the one I always kept on the hip.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
he kept hyping everybody
Yeah,
like, yo,
he-
Rafiq
right.
got it.
or not even that. Like we'll like say we go out.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Go ahead, Jern, spit, man." I'd be like,
Right.
"Nah, I don't want it." He'd be like, "Man, you spit. Oh man, you
Right.
the one that you know what I'm saying." So it's
Okay.
like, as long as he was there,
Right.
because he'd tell me, he's like, that wasn't hot, Jern. That
Oh,
verse
he'd
wasn't
tell you
hot.
what-
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, he was. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Oh damn." So I'd be like, "All right, I'm gonna come with something tighter." So I would spit to him. He'd be like, "Shh, that's hot."
Right.
So it was, it was some guys up west actually who was hot, man. I forgot
Right.
Sandman and them.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Sandman,
yeah. So you knew them guys?
I met him briefly because
Okay.
my man Pup was from West. He was
Okay.
from Winfield. So we met briefly, and Sandman was dumb hot. He was
Right,
real
yeah.
hot. So once I had got a verse that I was spit, I said, dang, I think at one point me and Sam was about to battle, like Pup was hyping that up, you know what I'm saying? So I got a verse together and I spit the pot. I said, damn, what you think about? And he's like, yeah, that's hot. So I just set that as the bar and just kept going.
Right. Okay.
Then when Nas came, that's when
that's
when
when
I knew I
increased.
was-
That's
I-
increased because
yeah.
you are a wordsmith.
But I took his whole
It's all good. But
I took his whole
you,
joint.
you may have took his style, but you morphed into some
Exactly.
lyricists that don't sound like
fact,
nobody.
Fact.
All right, so we
Appreciate
talked
it.
about your upbringing in Philly. We talked about who introduced you to rap and how you came in to like rap.
Mm-hmm.
But when did like pursuing the deal like come about? Like, did you think like you was nice enough to get a deal? Like, did you like? Because I want to skip the myth is that Flashy Freddie found you at a talent show in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
What talent show was that?
Well, him and Yant was together,
Right.
and it was shout out to Toure, man. Toure the
Okay.
comedian.
Okay.
Salute to Toure. Toure showed me a lot of love early on in my career when I was coming out of my shell. You know,
Okay.
Toure was doing the Laugh House,
Right.
but before then, Toure was he was hosting at the talent show in Pennsauken.
Okay.
And at that time, I was just getting in anything. So
Right.
that's when I figured I think I could do this. You know what I'm saying? The salute to my man Boss D, my man Dollars. Me and him would take trips to New York. So this is like 97,
Right,
96, 97, right?
Okay.
So we would take trips to New York, anywhere, and I kept getting close. I kept meeting people.
Mm-hmm.
I met Jeff Nixon at one point. I think it's Nixon.
Right.
I
I heard
Disturbing
that
the
name.
Peace, yeah.
Yeah.
And he took interest in me. Then it was Latifah. It was just different people.
Right.
So I'm like, damn. So I'm just getting more and more confident. So that time I went to the Pennsauken Talent Show.
Right.
And,
Now, did you
like
perform a
survival of the fittest.
freestyle, or was it a song, or was you?
It
with
was
a
an
group?
instrument. I guess it was a freestyle.
Okay.
Because I'm glad you mentioned that. Before then, there was a group called Colony that I used to rock with.
Right.
Me, Duquesne.
Okay.
I mean, you remember Butter Duquesne?
Yeah, right.
So, I took Butter on the road with me,
Right.
like, backing me up and stuff. But me, my cousin Lid,
Right.
and my man Drum. So we had
Okay.
a group called the Colony.
Right.
And we used to go around, it's like a local group. And we started getting a little buzz, neighborhood
Okay.
buzz. But that separated. Everybody wasn't on the same page.
Right.
So that separated. And that's when I started doing solo stuff and going around. I just still, I wanted to pursue it. But, so that talent show, I guess it was a song. I really didn't even know how to count bars, Grant.
Right.
But I guess it was a song. I thought it was a song, but just a beat that I put on and I performed to it.
Right.
And to Ray, he understood. He was like, yo, he said,
That was fire.
yeah, he said, you know what I mean? So, but from there, that's when I met Freddie and them. Freddie and Yant, they approached me like, yo, you know what I'm saying? We do music, such and such, blah, blah, blah. We exchange numbers. And that's how, right.
And that's how it worked. All right, so that's kind of where I met you at.
Right.
It's like that we got all the way to the history of Jern. Mm-hmm. And then, but I do want to go back though. Mm-hmm. When did the Chop Hospital come into play?
Chop came in.
That's a very
pivot.
important part to your music
it
career.
Definitely is,
Chop
bro.
Hospital. I remember you missed a lot of sessions.
Right, damn.
Because you had to work. You like this, bro. I can't make the studio. I got to work. I got to do a double.
Fact.
So did you go to college and then say, I can't do college. I'm gonna do Chop. I got to pay for the Honda.
To be honest, that's funny, right? That's funny, but that's kind of what it was. So high school, in short form,
right.
95. Let's say 91, right?
Right.
So let's go from 91.
Dang, I was born in 90.
Let's
Damn,
get it.
bro.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Damn,
I
making
knew
us
I
feel
heard
old.
91. I was like
Right.
this.
But 91
Just came to the
right.
world like this.
Damn.
I was like, hey, y'all.
Yeah.
So 91,
Right.
I was like, you know what I mean? I got me and my brother Vada. We almost like twins.
Right.
Not identical,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
same
yeah.
age.
Right.
Like he a year older than me.
Right.
So we used to share clothes like crazy, bro.
Right.
And it got to a point where when you went to South Philly High, if you saw Lean On Me, that's how South Philly High was. You
Right.
smoking in the bathroom.
Ooh, that's crazy.
It's crowded. Like,
Yeah.
you got rappers over here.
Yeah.
And I remember Rahisi used to be in the lunchroom rapping. I remember coming in the lunchroom one day, and I'm talking about, when you open the door, I'm talking about it's probably it looked like a show. Cause
Yeah.
So I opened the door, and
Yeah.
I turned right back around and went the other way. I said, I can't. Because I wasn't confident in my gear and
That's a
everything,
fact.
right? So I used to go to the library, and during the lunch period, I was just going to the library.
Right.
Now I'm like,
So it's
like
safe to
12.
say Jern was the quiet dude in high school.
I was because
Yeah.
my confidence was shot.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? So, and I said that to say from the end of, I started doing basketball.
Right.
So my end of my freshman year, I started hustling.
Right.
So, and it's a funny story with that. I don't want to be long-winded with the
Right.
stories, but you know what I mean? My man Corey, I don't mean to say names, you know what I'm saying? My homie though, one of my good friends, we walking from Barrett one day.
Okay.
So this was Barrett. And right before I was about to go to Southern. And I remember Corey telling me, yo, man, I'm tired of being broke. So I'm
Right.
like, this is Boys in the Hood era, right? So
Right.
But I'm just happy. I got my homie here. We walking. He's like, I'm tired. So he kept stressing for 2 hours, man. So he said, yo, we gotta get some work. We gotta get some.
You gotta get a gig.
No, he told me we gotta get some
Oh,
drugs.
you want to get some drugs?
So I'm like, all right. I said, all right, let's do it. So I called my brother, and my brother came around. He said, I ain't giving y'all niggas no work. Y'all don't know what y'all doing. It's my older brother. He said,
Right.
all right. So he said, here, y'all take this 100 pack. Bring me back 70. Y'all keep 30. I said, all right. So we saw, I forgot what movie it was. We was putting the cap. This when caps was out.
Right.
We put the caps in our mouth. We waiting for the smokers to come around. So the smokers come around. We give the caps. So my brother came around like, yo, what the hell? He said, what is y'all doing with the caps, man?
Yeah. He said,
What happened? He said, the smokers can't get the coke, the crack out of the joints. They saying it's stuck in there.
Oh,
So
yeah, because it's
spit.
moist.
The
Yeah.
spit.
So he said, give me that stuff back, man.
Right.
So after that, I was like, you know what I mean?
I
It
ain't
made
good.
me go. No, it
Yeah.
made me go harder. I
Right.
said, okay. So I went and got something fronted, and that lead me to here. From then, so from me being about 12, 13, I was just hustling.
Right.
Hustling crazy, and this is only 5-6 years after crack hit. So the money was like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Money was coming. But I like to say I was a smart hustler boy. Like
Right.
I had some homies who they winded up
Yeah.
going crazy, you know what I'm saying? Actually, my homie, that introduced me to it. He wound up doing 15 in the Feds, you know what I'm saying? But I just took a whole nother route, and that's where the chop came in at.
Okay.
So 4 years, about 3 or 4 year run of took
hustling.
a couple falls, you know what I'm saying? And my whole thing was I was scared of my mom, you know, coming up from that abuse. My mom was abused, so she didn't know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I wasn't scared of cops or none of that. I was just scared. Like my mom, even at 15, 16, or until I got of age to where she couldn't hurt me, she would come wherever.
Right.
And like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was more afraid of them being embarrassed and all of that. So I said that to say I couldn't really go as hard as I wanted because you talking about like a 500 pack of caps was, you know what I mean? It was big. And you know, these was like the 30s, remember the Illusions or whatever?
Yeah, and then you used to stash them in the crib?
Stash them in the crib, that's what I'm
And
saying.
then
My
you
mom
worried about
found
her-
them.
that's what I'm about to
she
say,
found them
yeah.
one time, brought them to the school.
Right, that's crazy.
She called me to the principal's office, and I'm like, I know my mom ain't gonna smack me in front of all these girls.
Yeah.
But she's like, what? And I had to tell her, I said, Mom, that's some of y'all stuff. But she found like a stack or a little over a stack.
Yeah. Put it
Like,
together.
you know what I mean? I'm 12, 13. But I said I had a couple in rest his soul, man. I just found out one of the homies, one of the guys that was hustling for me back then. I'm like 13, got nigga hustling for me.
Right.
So one of them, he just passed, man. But long story short, man, I just was I had a couple homies who was more wild. They was, probably was shooters, and I was a hustler. I like money, you know what I'm saying? So I don't care if it was working. But I had wound up going to Chop, and once I saw Chop, I was making, at that time, I was making 16 an hour.
Right, yeah, that was good money back then.
It was good money back then.
Yeah.
So that's like a stack a week after tax. I said, you know what?
No kids.
No kids?
Right.
I said, I'm cool. I said, I ain't got to look over my back running from the running man and all. I said, all right, let me do this. So, and that's where what led me to Chop. So it was like, but I did do a year of community too once I graduated Southern.
Right.
But I just left. I met a female at that time.
Yeah.
And she sidetracked me, man.
Right, so you dropped out of school.
Dropped out.
So
bro.
Jern was tender for the females at one point.
We all was. We all was. You remember
He tried to deny it.
Oh man, listen,
He tried
man.
to deny
Yeah,
it.
he just got married. So I'm gonna leave some of them stories
so
out.
Listen,
Man.
no, that's okay. It's cool. It's cool. May Allah be with him. You know what I'm saying? Listen. But no, listen. All right, so we talked about. I felt like we covered all of that because I didn't know that Jern.
Okay.
I knew Jern from chopping down.
Okay.
Like from when you came with Flashy Freddie, that's the Jern that I met.
Right.
So starting from that point, when I met you, and we traded bars, and you came to Willenboro, and we used to be in the studio with Yant and Flashy, and they put us together in a group called the Kleptos.
Remember that? Yep.
You know what I mean, which was
It's a hot group, man.
It was a hot group. But
Hot
listen, the irony of this group, got Flashy Freddie, who is crazy with his pen.
Right.
Then I had my other brother, journalist, who's
right.
crazy.
Respect.
And I'm the youngest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at you guys. I don't know if you remember, it was a time where Flashy would put us on songs, right? Mm-hmm. And if your verse wasn't on Up to Par, you didn't make it on the record.
I remember.
You remember?
I remember. Oh, yeah.
So if you go in there and spit some bullshit.
Mass production.
Mass production.
Yep.
If you go in there and spit some bullshit, you call the next day and be like, yo, the song's done.
You say
You be like
nothing.
this. Yeah, you ain't make that. For real? It just made you go hard.
Right.
You feel me?
Because you know what it was, Graham? Because you was always dumb with the pen, too.
Right.
But I tell people, too, as well for me,
Right.
the writing game and the recording game was totally different. You know what I'm saying?
Totally
So
different.
you would spit a verse, man. I'm like, this boy hot.
Crazy. Yeah.
I would do the same. You say, yo, this guy
Yeah,
hot.
but
Then we
getting
get
in
into
that mood?
Then not only that, like, we recording under like guys like Tiz and them guys was
That's
working
true.
on
They-
YA and all
Yeah,
that. So
that's true.
they were so seasoned.
Okay.
It wasn't like the Joe Schmo that's behind the board. You know what I'm saying? So they pushed you to the point where it's like, and I'm like probably 2 years in with writing all together,
And
like
you gotta
writing
go in there.
songs.
Freddie was knocking shit out one take.
Right, Freddie was seasoned.
So
Freddie
when
was
we
seasoned.
go in there, it's bring it back. Bring it
Right,
back.
right.
Bring
right.
it back.
Fact.
So
Then
he-
I'm reading off
I
of
used
the
to watch
book.
Freddie outside the booth. He'd be like this.
Right.
This nigga did about 30 takes.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But so, and I said all that to say this is that the good thing about being under that whole regiment of recording, being around artists, because we may not realize it at the time, but we was being groomed for what we was going to do next.
Fact.
So I looked at the situation when Freddie got his deal with Rough Riders. And then me and you still trying to figure it out. I mean, remember, we on
Was
the train.
Freddie signed?
Yeah,
Before,
he was signed. I want to say, well, Freddie was signed before us because he was signed to Wanye.
Yeah, he wasn't with Rough Riders yet.
Not yet.
Right.
When he had us under the wing, he was with Wanye. Right. So I never forget. I don't know. One day Juan picked me up.
The mall.
We're gonna get to the mall. But one day Juan picked me up. He lived in Voorhees at the time. Wanye picked me up from Boys to Men. So he had a drop top.
The SL.
The SL.
Benz, right.
I want to say I thought you was with us that day, but we was all at his sister crib. His sister's name is Dorothy, right? So Juan, this is the time that Freddie signed, but we his understudy. So we like, damn, we damn near signed too.
Right.
Money, you feel me? So Juan taps me like, take this ride with me. So he dropped the top on the joint. I'm 18. I'm sitting with Wanye from Boys to Men.
Right.
And he telling me in the car, like, you gonna be good. I'm
gonna tell you what's crazy.
Yo,
I don't want to cut you off, but go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? But point being made is I'm so impressionable at this age.
Fact.
I literally called my mom and told her like this, Mom.
You made it?
We made it.
Fact.
You about to quit your job.
Right.
Do you know I'm in Voorhees with the top drop with Wanye from Boys to Men? He just told me
we good. Only 2 years after the one of them big albums dropped.
Oh yeah, they had Let It Snow Out,
popping,
all that. They had the works out. They were platinum artists.
Fact.
But what's your experience? Have you ever had an experience with Wanye?
The same exact thing. That's why I said I want to tell you. So I forgot where we was. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, is you talking about the same day?
It might have been the same day. You might have been in the back seat. I don't know.
No,
I don't remember.
It was a solo ride, so he did the same thing with me.
Okay, got it.
Because you probably was on the same tip I was on.
Right.
To be honest, I'm like, listen, you whine, much love and respect. What's up?
Yeah, you got a couple of hours. You can change my life. I dropped out of college when Juan told me that. I called my mom and said, I ain't going back to school. I'm about to make
the crazy thing is, most people would have did that. I would have did the same thing, but see, and maybe my mind was a little different,
right?
Because I was impressionable too,
right?
But mine had a certain limit, so I'm like, listen, okay, we rocking around, we doing this, you know, Freddie, that's fam, yacht, and that's you know, they had the snakes and everything,
right?
My man Low, shout out to Low and Bump and everybody, so they had the snakes. Respect, that's family.
Right.
But what are we doing about this deal?
That's a fact. Like, you was trying to get out of CHOP at the time because you had the car note, the Honda. You know what I'm saying?
I was a little comfortable though.
That's what I mean. But you was looking at it like, I'm with these celebrities.
Right.
Remember we did 100.3 The Beat one night. Went up there freestyle with JC and them. All of us. I don't know if you remember.
Right.
Freddie took us up there.
I think that's the first time I met Ski.
First time.
Shout out to Ski.
So at this time, we were being groomed as we are like signed artists.
Right.
You know, we're around celebrities every day. We got a mentor like Freddie. That's what led us to the mall. We're going to get to the mall now.
Yeah, that mall was crazy. That mall was crazy.
This is where we knew we didn't make it. We knew we didn't make it at this time.
The mall was crazy.
Wanye had told Freddie had a show in Philly. He said, I'm going to need y'all to meet us at Freddie's house. We going shop.
Yep.
So we like this. Oh, my God. Wanye about to take us to the mall and cash us out.
He ain't get y'all shit.
Me and Jern in there. He take Freddie through. He told Freddie, we in Foot Locker. He said, what you want? Get anything.
Fact.
Freddie grabbing about 3 or 4 pair of sneakers. Me and Jern looking at each other. We standing next to each other like this. We about to grab. The nigga took us to the aisle over there and told us to get a T-shirt. That's all we got.
Now, I'm going to tell you what's crazy about that.
That's
definitely how it did. You know, Juan was in there like, give me that rack in 11.
Yeah,
give me that rack. So I'm like that. Now, to be honest, at that time, of course, I ain't had no Wanye money. Nowhere near. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I was able to buy whatever I wanted. You know what
did you grab something that day?
No, because I was under the same impression. Like, you saying, niggas going shopping.
Right.
Of course, and I'm sure you could have bought your own stuff.
Yeah. I stayed, no. I was locked up at that time. I'm 18. I had no car.
Right.
And literally, I slept, ate, and breathed rap.
I'm
talking about at that time. No kids. I was going 100% for the deal. That's what I wanted.
Definitely did, though. Definitely grinded, bro.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And it's crazy because one thing that John taught me, that mall taught me, because we kind of both was like, damn, we was crushed. It wasn't It wasn't the fact that you ain't get me nothing. Like, I don't need nobody to get me nothing. You know what I mean? Respect to the wine and all that.
Right.
My whole thing was it taught me something that I knew growing up.
That's
growing
true.
up hustling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nothing's given.
Besides my brother, nobody ever fronted me. Gave me anything.
Right.
I never hustled for anybody. You
Right.
know, and not to knock whoever did.
Right.
Always went and got my own. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? So that taught me not to. It reminded me I shouldn't be dependent on nobody anyway.
That's true.
Because nobody will ever be able to let you down. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You put that trust in somebody else,
Right.
regardless if it's wine or.
Yeah. I think as,
You know,
like
whoever.
you said, 18 teenagers at that time, I just think that we were so close. In
Absolutely,
our mind, we were
man.
so close
Absolutely.
because here it is. This is a guy that's on TV that's platinum. And in my mind as a kid, he's my friend.
Fact.
He signed my man. He putting bread into my man. And we all got to look the part.
Fact.
So, but at the end of the day, I also was grateful for that situation.
Oh, yeah.
It made me into somebody else,
That's
too.
what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? So
It was a lesson.
That's
it was
right.
a lesson. I mean, in that moment, we looking at it like, because the same with probably anybody in here, and I don't think Wanye, I don't know why Wanye did it that way.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I was saying,
I think maybe because we wasn't under paperwork.
But
Could have been that.
But it's like for me, even
Yeah.
right now, you know what I'm saying? If I'm going in a couple hundred and everybody in there, I tell you to get something, tell you
Right.
to get something. Go
Right.
ahead, man. Like
Right,
that's
right.
what it is.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that came from, but it was a lesson learned, and
Right.
that's what I think. It more of that we was kind of taken back, like, damn, I thought we was family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It didn't make me feel no type of way. It just made me hungry for success.
Hungry and humble.
It
It
told
did,
me
yeah.
like, okay, well, Freddie's the guy right now.
Right,
I
right,
want to know what that feeling is to be the guy
Fact.
that you focus on and
Fact.
you know you understand. Like you make the artist's life a little bit easier so he can focus on the craft.
Fact.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so fast forward now. We talked about that. We had a lot of good times running around with Flashy Freddie. But you and I did a lot of our grinding together too. You know, when you it was times you would come to Trenton and I would take you to the Who's Who in Trenton, DJ Plex and everybody and introduce you. So when you got your deal, it made me feel good because I got the phone calls. Everybody was calling like, yo, you brought him to my crib.
Fact,
He
fact.
did the freestyle.
Fact, bro.
So at the end of the day, when you, I never forget, right? I was at Dell State when I finally.
Rap Patch was at Dell
Listen,
State.
Rap
Right,
Pack
right,
got
right.
so crazy for me where we kept getting close. We had them.
Yup.
We both had the moments where we right there,
was grinding.
artisan. And then it just would be a setback. So I went back to college. So
Right.
I'm in my dorm. Now, mind you, I think we had lost touch for a couple months, right? I'm in my dorm.
Remember the fish joint with the salty fish guy?
Which one?
Well, I mean, cause remember we was in Trenton. We went to Trenton.
Yeah.
At that time, it's like, dang, grand nigga, hungry, bro.
Right.
And we had the fish patty drink.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, how much salt you put on this drink? Like,
Yeah.
no.
I cooked it for you?
I think you cooked it. I think you had something you cooked when we was at
That
the crib.
shows
Like,
you how
damn. I
grind.
said,
We was in the
yo.
grind.
We was grinding though. We was
I had
grinding.
him at my grandma's spot.
The
We
Roger
in the
Garden
hood.
somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
we was in
Yeah,
the project,
yeah.
like whatever. So, but what I'm saying
My
is,
fault,
right? No, it's all good. I was saying, what was I talking about?
You
What
saying,
part?
That
at
scene
the
was
dorm.
real nasty because he remembered it.
Yeah,
it joined-
I put
yeah,
too much
it-
salt on it. Yeah.
It got high
What
blood
was you
pressure. I
talking
think.
about? What thought? Well, I wasn't.
You was in Dell State. You was in dorm.
I was in Dell State in
Yeah.
the dorm room, right?
Right.
And I'm watching 106 in Park. Fast forwarding, right?
word.
I'm watching 106 in Park, and all of a sudden,
with the joint of the day.
they
Damn,
premiered you
right,
as
right.
new joint of the day from
Free.
your single.
Free and AJ, yup.
Yeah, so here it is. I'm playing in my mind, us in Trenton, us in Flex crib, running around with Flashy Freddie, the T-shirts at the mall, not
Right.
getting no sneaks.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Going through Platinum Bound, Philly, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Remember Platinum Bound?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
studio
crazy, yeah.
sessions, on the
Right.
phone, beating down, letting each other hear, rhymes over the phone. Yo, check what I wrote
Right,
last
bro,
night.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we was really locked in. So
Yeah.
when I saw that, I was like, yo, this shit is possible.
Yeah.
But I skipped the part. The part that I skipped is that our New York trip.
Oh yeah.
We
That's a
one
whole,
day I think we got so frustrated that
Yeah.
things wasn't moving right for us. So
Yeah.
we decided to take a trip to New York.
Right. That was a crazy day, man.
It was a crazy
day. It was a lesson.
It was a lesson learned. We put our money together. We paid the tolls, gassed up in that white Honda,
Yep.
2-door or 4-door. I don't
Four-door.
remember.
It was a
four-door
four-door.
joint,
The
right?
joint was fresh too,
It
though.
was fresh. The Honda was everything.
They had the
Honda-
leather.
The Honda was everything.
6 CD changes.
Right. So we go to New York,
You know.
and I think we wanted to go to Penalty.
Penalty. That was the name of the joint.
Penalty Records. That's where
Dang,
Nori,
that's where Nori was at.
Nori was signed.
Wow.
So-
right. Damn.
So
remember
me and
Penalty?
Jern, we knew we got the rhymes.
Right.
That's all we did.
Right,
Right.
right.
So we pull up in New York, and when we get on West 25th. This was where Penalty was.
Okay.
This is where the label was.
Right.
Out front, in front of the label was DJ Clue and Noriega from Capone and Noriega.
But Clue pulled up later.
Clue
Remember,
pulled
we was waiting for Nori, but Clue pulled up later. Remember?
That's right. But what happened was somebody had a purple 5 out there, a purple BMW 5. I don't know if it was Nori or Clue.
Okay.
But we went up to them and let them know who we was, right? No disrespect, but Nori and them was kind of like, yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
you could tell they was preoccupied.
They was preoccupied. They was just like, we hear y'all, but you know.
Yeah.
So then the irony of that story, which kind of was more motivation, was they blew us off in so many words. But 3 months later, you're on a mixtape tour with Clue and Canibus.
Right. Ain't that crazy?
I'm telling
It's
you,
crazy.
bro,
And
how they treated us when we was there,
right.
to how when I heard you.
I don't mean to cut you.
Yeah.
Nori, I guess I never met him personally, right? But you could tell like he was like, I'll be back. And remember we was like, he ain't coming back.
Yeah.
So we was just like,
Yeah.
we was about to roll, then Clue pulled up.
Right.
And Clue wasn't, neither one of them really was disrespectful.
They wasn't disrespectful. They just kind of was
Especially
like, we busy.
Cause you know, right.
Yeah,
Because
we
as I got and started, once I got my deal and started finding out how you be moved around,
Right.
it kind of the same thing.
That's
what I'm
true.
saying, because you so busy.
Yeah.
Like you got somebody telling you, okay, you got this time, so your
Right.
time is real
Right.
small. So when Clue was actually in the car and he decided to listen.
That's true.
But he
now,
was
did
like-
we spit for him? Because
We spit for him. But first he was like, I got a meeting. He said, just give me the music.
Yeah.
And then we had spit.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, no doubt, no doubt. Well, you spit.
Right.
I was about to spit.
Right.
But after I saw how he was trying to, I said,
Trying to carry you?
I said, I ain't gonna spit.
Right.
But no, but you spit. And I'm like, man,
Right.
Graham killing it.
Right.
But I think the fact that he was already,
Occupied.
yeah, and he said,
you gotta
just give me the
understand
music.
too, the
He just
game
left.
is always about a cosign.
Right.
We coming up there, two
Right,
faces that
right.
have no stamp.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I wanted to ask you too. Did you ever get an opportunity? I guess going in the room with Canibus, you're not probably gonna be like the Clue. Yo, I ran down on you a couple months ago.
Yeah, that's
did
true.
you ever try?
I never did that.
All right,
though.
cool.
I never did that.
No, because
But that's a good question.
Yeah,
though.
no, I was about to say because
And
you like, yo, 90 days ago, you
Right.
treated me like my name was Stanley.
Right.
And now I'm up here
Because
bombing shit.
because I didn't think it was personal.
Right,
That's
okay.
why I didn't even bring it back up.
I always
So-
wanted to ask you that.
Yeah,
I always wanted
and
to
it's
ask you.
crazy because Canibus actually had a mix down session with
Right.
him and Doro.
Okay.
You know, the Clues engineer.
Right.
And that would have been an opportunity to say something, but I was just in
Right.
the cut. You know what I mean?
And he probably wouldn't have remembered.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't. And you know, at the end of the day, I don't know. Maybe he did, Graham, and maybe
Right.
never said nothing. But
Right.
I know from the impression that we had when I was up there spitting, it was just
Right.
all love.
Okay,
like,
that's
yo,
dope.
you killing it.
Yeah,
young,
you
and
killed
he was
it,
like,
bro.
yeah,
You killed it.
was
So,
love.
so I wanted to say that to say this, right? I feel like all of the stuff that we went through, the ups and downs, you know, the working the job, you know, the talent shows, the sessions, and meeting the artists and almost getting there. When you finally get an opportunity to be in a room with Canibus and be on a mixtape with him and go bar for bar, I heard an interview where you said, like, somebody was like, yo, like, in some ways they felt like you was getting him on the freestyles. But but let me answer that. What I'm going with is I feel like the training that you had prior to getting with Canibus is what made you just as elite.
Respect.
People don't
Appreciate
know
it.
the setbacks that we had to go
That's
through.
fact.
They don't know the nights we spent in the studio and the nights we
fact.
write rhymes and all of the almost deals, the almost features.
No,
You know
that's
what I'm
fact,
saying?
man. That's
So
fact.
when people were surprised to hear you the way you
Right.
came through and like you said, you wrote 9 rhymes.
Right.
You had 9 different rhymes to
Yeah.
spit.
I
You
had-
had your clip loaded.
Right.
That's because you already was seasoned. You was a young
Seasoned.
vet
Now,
around
that's-
Canibus.
that's-
And he probably didn't realize.
But that's
that.
a great point, bro, because
Yeah.
I never even looked at it.
Right.
Said I never broke it down that way.
Right.
Like the time, like even you talking about how when we was with Yon and Flash and
Yeah, it was all training.
it was training.
It was training,
It was
bro.
training for me. It was like training
Yeah.
for crack because we was always around spitters, right?
Spitters and
Even
yeah.
you know, a couple of my mans and them from Temple, Black Ops, you know, Caution and
Right.
Price and Paradise and them
Right.
guys. These guys
You
was
got
like
right. I know. Okay.
these
Yeah.
guys was lyrical like I'm talking about, man, Caution can just freestyle, like, besides like somebody like Black Thought, man.
Right.
You know, it ain't too many freestyles. My man Drum used to freestyle like that, but just come off the top and you like, that's written?
Right.
To be not with the freestyles we call freestyles now, but this was like just straight off the top.
Right.
But being around them guys like that, bro, it kind of, like you said, being around me, you, and it was training. I never even looked at it like that.
It was. I looked at it because another thing is I had to decipher that God put us in a situation where it's me, you, and Flashy, right? Mm-hmm. I watched Flashy go off with Wanye and then Rough Riders and run around with DMX, right? Mm-hmm. Me being the youngest, I got to witness that his hard work, his talent, it got rewarded.
Right. Fact.
You were next up the bat. Mm-hmm. When you got your deal, I ain't gonna lie, because we was like twins. Me and you, we together every day.
Right,
you feel me?
right.
Like, we on the phone, we going through the same struggles. Half on hoagies, like, we had that struggle.
Fact.
Yo, you got a little
Fact.
gas, I come scoop you.
Fact,
You feel
fact.
me?
Yeah, yeah.
So when you got your deal, I asked myself, I'm like, yo,
Because at one point
what's up?
I left Chop.
That's what I mean.
left
You,
Chop.
oh yeah,
I left
that's
Chop,
when the
remember?
yeah.
No, I had the hot. It was like a grind. It was a period.
Yeah.
And that's when me and Duquesne was riding tight too.
Right.
You know,
Go ahead. Okay.
Just be
All right, go ahead.
Duquesne started doing his thing.
Right.
He's up northeast. He was doing this thing, and we was grinding. So it was
Right.
like a grind period too that
Right.
felt like centuries, but it was only 1 year. It's crazy.
Right. I remember
But
that.
I didn't mean to cut you off. But go ahead.
Oh, but no, what I was saying basically is like, I watched Flashy get to deal with DMX and Rough Riders and Wanye, so he got his just due. Mm-hmm. Then I watched, you was like second up the bat, and I think it's because I think the grind is rewarded on the work you put in. Prior to me meeting you, I don't know what your work ethic was with music, but somehow the cards lined up for you to get your deal the way it was structured. So it was rewarding and inspiring to see my old head Flashy. Now my bro Jern, and then I'm watching you 106 in Park, Motown deal. And then you still reaching out. Yo, Graham, come roll when we do the corporation.
Right.
So then I seen it came to me. I got my light, and so I didn't realize this till years later when I'm seeing myself on 106 in Park. I'm seeing myself in Atlantic and getting ready to do a deal and songs with Petey and Little Flip and Source magazines, and I'm saying to myself like, yo, the grind rewarded all three of us.
Fact.
In our own time.
Wow. That's a great.
You dig me?
Yeah, it's a great breakdown. See, the crazy thing with you is
crazy,
you
bro.
had two prototypes before you.
That's what
did
I
your
mean.
thing. And one thing I salute
But that
you
was
on,
training.
It was training, but it's crazy because, you know, as we get older, we learn
Right.
more. You know what I'm saying? But looking back in hindsight, your situation should have been huge, like bigger than everybody, because now you got so much knowledge and you was doing so much independently.
I was about to say a lot of things that I did.
Everything
was
you, because I was
independent.
like, man, Grand made that play. Yo, Grand, that's Grand, though.
And it's because of the failed deals.
Right.
And then me and you building. You say, Graham, being signed to a label ain't everything you think it is. Like,
Right.
you know, they gave me a rush deadline. They,
Right.
you know, they playing with the money.
Right.
So I'm seeing that, and I'm like, do I really want to sign right now? I got these two hustling boys. You know what I'm saying? And they you know, they
putting up,
they putting that Fetty up. So I started seeing like I could cut the label out and go pay for it.
Which I thought you,
pay people.
and that's what I was saying. I was
You know what
like,
I'm saying?
Graham is going to be straight because Graham was doing it. You cut out the middleman.
And I'm gonna tell you, for a long time I was, because if it wasn't for my partners going to prison, like that has set me back. But then God gave me something else. He gave me Sean Andrews from the Eagles.
I remember that.
Yeah, Sean came and hit me with like 100.
Mm.
You feel me? So I'm like, all of that. But I said to myself, because I said, my brothers, they got their deal. Jern, Flashy, boom. And then now when it came time for me, the Petey record jumped off for me, but the B side was you. I had Be Easy on the A side, and I'm Walking on the B side. So I had the vinyl. We in the streets with the vinyl.
Right. Remember that?
And I gave it to Cosmic Kev, and he said, I want to play the one with Jern. So he,
Oh, wow.
I'm hearing it on the Come
Dope.
Up show. So, you know, it's crazy.
Salute
So,
to Kev, yeah.
and I just wanted to tell you that, because I broke it down one day just to myself, like, we all got our flowers, bro. We all got rewarded out of being in that situation, being in that studio, having them setbacks.
Right.
We all got our just due.
Right.
And I wanted to say to you that you should be proud of that, bro.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you'd be proud of like, yo, I got a deal. I was running around here.
Right.
Because listen, and I'm gonna add this. You don't even probably remember one day I'm in South Philly with you. And you was like, yo, you know the nigga Beans is my man. And I said, Beanie Siegel ain't
My
your
man?
Yeah.
I said my man?
You said he was your man. You took me to 21st and Siegel to meet him. He was outside shooting dice. We pulled up on him.
Yeah. Because I met Beans.
Yeah, but you had a relationship with him where you can pull up on him.
Okay.
We went to 21st and Siegel. We still had the white car.
Okay.
We pull up.
Because we knew we had
this
mutual.
is when he first signed to The Rock.
Right. Okay.
So here I am sitting in your passenger seat.
Okay.
Beans is actually on 21st and Siegel.
Right.
Being signed, and you like, yo, that's my guy. We pulled up on him, you hopped out, then you told me to get out. You dapped him, y'all had some small talk, and then we was out.
Okay.
But it was just iconic, though.
Okay.
I'm from Trenton, and here I am, I'm on 21st and
Because
Siegel. At the first time we signed to The Rock.
Yeah. You know when Beans first signed to The Rock,
Yeah.
shot my man Carl, my bro Carl, man.
Right.
He come on home soon.
Right.
But Carl, because we had a label too. Me and my man Carl, we was going to do Carl was putting up the money for the label called Flat Out Entertainment.
Right.
We was going to do, but we was young.
Right.
We was young and that ain't pan out how it was supposed to be.
Okay.
But at that time, my man was telling me that he the one that told me Beans had got signed. I remember the day he was like, yo, Beans signed to Rockefeller. I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, that. But this was after like the going to New York, shopping the demo.
Right, yeah.
Because believe it or not, people, and I kept it to myself because even like my homies from around the way on the corner and everything, they would have said, you rap. Like, they didn't look at that.
Right.
Like,
Rap was, if you
was
rap back
taboo
in the
kinda.
day, you was corny. It was all about hustling, being a street
yeah,
guy.
it was like
you
a
rap,
little-
you was in a way
right.
a little bit.
And see, like, I went like again.
Yeah.
I was hustling, so it was like I'm in the street.
Right.
You know what I mean? But so it wasn't like I'm corny. You know what I'm saying? But it was more so like weird. It's a weird thing to do.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about.
But no, fact. But
yeah.
so I really, so I'm saying to myself when he said he got signed, I'm like, damn, I'm working as hard and. You know what I mean? I'm going
And I said that when you got a deal.
Yeah.
I said the
for real?
same thing.
Because that,
I'm right neck and neck with you right there. We spitting on this. But it was out of love. It's competitive from a brother where it's like, I had a lot on my plate at that time. You feel me? Like, I'm teeter-totter in between whether I want to stay in college or rap. You feel me? When I stayed in college, I'm in Delaware, so I'm out the loop. Because when I was in Jersey, I was going to New York. That's how I met Joe Buttons. I don't know if you know, me and Buttons had a relationship.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I looked in. I'm gonna give you the short version, then I'm gonna go back because I got a good question for you. One day I'm in Del State and I looked at the bottom. I looked at the back of the Source and they had an unsigned hype battle in Harlem. So I catch the train. I go up there. In front of the battle is Joe Buttons, but this time he going by Mouse.
Oh,
So imagine, this is weird. I know you from Philly on your come up.
Right.
Then I meet a named Mouse from Jersey City on the same come up. When I meet him, we ciphering outside. Guess who? Let me tell you how it all comes together. Guess who comes and listen to us cipher?
Who?
MOP.
Wow, that's fine. Man,
So,
shout, right.
MOP
That's
comes
funny, man.
outside.
Yeah.
They hear me and Joe.
It was
going
both
back
of
and
them,
forth.
Fame
It was
and-
Fame and Billy Dance.
Okay.
So they hosting it.
Wow.
But
dope.
it was so packed inside, they street dudes, they like, we going to outside.
Right.
So, but we couldn't get in. Me and Joe, we couldn't buy tickets. Look at the irony of that. Kilogram and Joe Buttons is locked out of this event because it's sold out. Joe says, let's start our own thing outside. He's going by Mouse now. So we rapping. I'm not gonna lie, I can say this right now. I'm shaking the streets at the time. People out there this. You feel me?
Right,
you know I
right.
was a
You
wolf
was
back
buzzing,
then.
yeah,
You feel me?
right.
So his management was like this. Can we get your number? I'm a little arrogant at the time. Like, take it down.
Oh, yeah.
So let me tell you how it came back to bite me. I go home 2-3 weeks pass. My mom, I come in the crib one day. My mom says, somebody named Mouse called you. Now this
It's crazy. I never knew boy went by mouth.
he went by Mouse. If anybody from Jersey City watching, they'll tell you that Joe's nickname before he became Joe Buttons, his self name is Mouse.
Mouse.
So I said, all right, I'll call him later. I go back to school. I hear Clue tape. He on there.
And this was like before Pump It Up and all that.
This is before Pump It Up.
Okay.
This is when he doing the street fan, like he went Fabulous, jumping on them freestyles with them.
I remember.
He's with
got you.
what's them dudes from Queens name? He was down with Webb and Nitty at the time. He with Webb and Nitty.
Okay.
So I said all that to say, I was getting so many flashes in the pans of people that I was around that was successful. You got your deal around the same time Joe Buttons got his deal. And I got both of y'all numbers in my phone at the time. You feel me? So as an understudy, I'm feeling like, yo, I'm so close.
Yeah,
I'm around everybody with a deal. Flashy, Germ, Buttons. So I just kept grinding.
Right.
So I said that to say, I said, damn, I want to tell Jern because I don't know if he realized it, that he is blessed, bro. Blessed, bro.
And
Like,
I was too close. It was a saying
Yeah.
my homie gave to me, my man, cousin Kane.
right.
He said, sometimes you be in the forest, you too close to the tree to see the forest.
That's
You
true.
know what I'm saying? That's
true.
that's the case. That's what it was for me. And
Right.
it wasn't like I didn't know I was blessed.
Right.
But I wasn't savoring every moment of
Right.
that because, you reach a goal.
Right.
Like, it's unexplainable, man. Like, I don't know how the youngins look at, coming out now, but back then, like, it was so hard, like, grinding. It's like going to the league.
That it
Like,
was.
you get a record deal like
Yeah.
going to the league.
Yeah.
But the thing I must say is the attention came to the city. Actually, the attention came kind of to the East Coast, man. Like
Right.
Jersey and Philly
Yeah.
when Beans,
Yeah.
signed with Rockefeller.
Right.
It's like it kind of sparked something. You know what I'm saying? But we was already grinding before then.
That's true.
You feel what I'm saying?
We was grinding at the same time. Because remember, when we opened up that show, we were Freddie Hype Man in Philly, but Major
That
Figures
103
was the
joint.
headline.
Right, and Figures was popping. That's what I'm saying. You had Figures, you had Ram Squad.
Yeah.
And this was like 90s, in the early 90s.
96, 90,
Yeah,
96.
so it's like, this was before the hype came. So that's what I'm
Right.
saying. Like, I was taking my money from Chop, actually putting into
That's
the
a
demo.
fact.
With man Stacks.
Before we end it, I got a couple more questions that I want. Recently, Canibus just did his interview with Math Hoffa on My Expert Opinion. And for one, it's a two-part question. I want a short answer on how you met J. Irv, and for two, how did you meet Canibus? So that's a two-part question, but just give me the short answers on both of those. Yeah.
My man Marley introduced me to I think Show touched on a little bit. It was a splash party.
Right.
I rapped that night, and Marley heard me rap. And the next day, I bumped into Marley again. You know what I'm saying? And Marley was like, "Yo, I'm meeting with J. Irv tonight. You should meet up with it." Yeah. So I went down there and I spit with Jay, spit for Jay, and Jay. We exchanged numbers.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll keep in touch. And when I called him, actually I called him a couple of days and like, "Yo, what's the move?" Because to be honest, I was still doing the Wanye stuff.
I remember.
We wasn't doing the Wanye, but Wanye was still saying he wanted to sign us.
Right.
So I was asking Jay like, "Yo, what are we gonna do, bro?" Because you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was a few things on the table and just. And Jay was like, "Yo, no, I bang with you." And Jay kept his word every step of the way. So I said, let's rock.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, he introduced me to Charles Suit, who was A&R, president A&R at Universal.
Okay, so it happened that fast.
Because
I was around
within a
you
2
and
week
Jay
span.
Irv at a time. We was hanging. Remember,
I remember that.
coming
That's
to
when he had the
a couple
office on
times.
17th Street.
Yeah. So he basically liked what you was doing, and he just introduced you to the A&R. The A&R liked you, and then he just signed you and just hooked you up with Canibus, or
actually, A&R, when he came down to the studio on down north,
Right.
where they used to have a studio down north, everybody used to go through.
Okay.
And one day, Jay was like, "Yo, Suit coming in the city. You should
Right.
come down there." When
Right.
I came down there, Suit was in there, and he just like go in the booth and you know what I mean, we
Crazy.
hear you. And I went in the booth for like 10 minutes, and I was just spitting. He just keep going, and I could hear like in between the beat stopping,
Like,
I could hear him just
woo!
I could hear him just like
Yeah.
snapping. So when I came out, he's like, "Yo, you nice. He like, you hot. He said, yo, I wanna do some stuff with you. I'm gonna bring you up to New York to meet Canibus. And I was like, all right, bet.
Right.
And
was you excited to hear that name, like Canibus?
Hell yeah, because a year before,
yeah,
I was listening to Clue mixtape, and this one Canibus, Big Pun, DMX, and all them Nori and all them was on the mixtape, and I'm like, yo,
that boy's
I was
crazy.
like, nigga, all of them is nice, but this boy Canibus is like crazy. I was like, yo, I'm gonna meet boy. I was like, matter of fact, I want to battle boy.
Okay.
This was like, at this time, I was like, I want to just battle whoever. Like, I had confidence by now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it came to fruition like a year later. It's kind of crazy how, you know what I'm saying?
And that was a hell of a cosign for you to come into the game, like to come in under such a phenomenal spitter,
Man,
and then go toe-to-toe with him on those records. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's an honor. You know what I mean? I was honored for everybody to feel that way because even as I'm spitting, even as we doing, when we, you know, like I told you, we was going to different colleges. We was going to the radio, you know, the college radio.
Yeah.
Then we'll go to the radio station in that city, the big joint. So I'm like, yo. So it was like nervous energy, but it was like it's do or die.
Yeah.
You know
it didn't come across like that on the records because I listened to the freestyle today and yesterday. I was at the gym, and I'm like, just your language. Go ahead, mess around with the slim guy. You know what I'm saying? Like just like the way you pronounce your stuff, and like I said, you know, somebody watching, but you on this. You know what I'm saying? I know they like he diggy. No, this is my brother though. This is my. I sat.
We too grown for
that. We
sat
neck and neck, like writing rhymes together.
Fact.
So and then this is the question probably of the day right here. Me and you. Just because your schedule got busy, we didn't speak as often. You running around, you getting your deal together. I was never like bitter or anything. I understood you had things to do. So I just waited patiently. You know, you used to reach out when you could and we spoke. But when do I have to kill a man just to take them kilograms, have 3 shots, spin him around like ceiling fans? So niggas from my block was like, yo, boy, dissing you. I'm saying like this.
Wow.
So this is the first time I run to the Clue. But I ain't thinking like that.
Right.
I'm like, nah, that's
a little reach.
Shout.
Man. That's a reach.
To me, it was more like a shout because I said, Jern was running around with a guy named Kilogram for years. So to me, it's a play on words.
I'm glad you brought that up. It definitely was. Because you got to remember, at that time, Graham,
that was crazy.
Time, that's weird though. People
I'm
gonna
tell you because my name is Kilogram, and then they don't see us together.
Like, I know you ain't think, but for somebody to bring that to you,
right?
It's just crazy
the block.
So you telling me you ain't feel like
I didn't. I'm gonna tell you why I didn't
when
because
it was coming to you.
I knew. See, Jern is a very clever dude. That's why his name's Journalist. He's a wordsmith. Jern will shout you out in a way that you may not even realize it.
Fact.
And like how you did that, do I have to kill a man just to take them kilograms?
Man.
I'm your man at the time.
I'm gonna tell you exactly where it came from.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
At that time, we was in touch.
Right.
We was in touch.
Right.
So even with me now, when I'm just writing, like now when I do music, it's more for cause.
Right.
But just this rhyming and just talking, I'll pull a word out the air.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You say something, and anybody that been around me know because I went about 12, 15 years where I didn't write.
Right.
People used to say, and respect the Hove and all them guys and Biggie, you doing the Hove. It ain't had nothing to do with that. It just I had to challenge myself as a lyricist.
That's a fact.
And so me writing rhymes got boring. So I said, you know what? And it's something that we used to do when I used to smoke. You know what I'm saying? We used to smoke. But if you hear talking and you go in the studio with me and people will know, I'll be just quiet.
Right.
And then I'll come and they be like, this nigga just put a verse. But at that time,
and that's
I was writing still, but I wrote that verse.
Right.
We might have talked a day or two before then.
Right. And I knew that though. And then some of my close friends that know our relationship, they was like, yo, that was like a low-key shout out. Your man was killing that shit on there. He said kilogram. Everybody remembers that. Listen,
and that is the line, everybody.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm honored because my name is in it for one.
Right.
But for two, that is your most iconic
bar. It's crazy, right?
To date.
To date.
I put your picture up on my joint.
And that's the
and
bar.
Niggas is quoting that.
That's funny though because
you know what I'm saying?
That was a joint that it was kind of a filler.
That was crazy.
A filler.
Think about what you said. See, you coming from an era where there's Beans, there's Gilly, there's Most Wanted, there's the rest of the major figures, from Reese Rolex and Bump J and all. It was an era of spitters, and then it was Jern.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So my question to you is, do you feel like you ever, State Property too, do you feel like you ever fit in that hot era of Philly?
So that's a good question, man. Salute to Philly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Philly definitely held me down from the spitters, but Philly is a city where it's a popularity contest too, even to now.
Right.
So I don't know if I was the most popular.
Right.
But I know
you definitely mattered in Philly at
and
that time.
And I was coming from literally the mud. Like I was coming from the muscle, like, because I didn't have a squad of niggas to
I was
run
gonna
with,
say,
you know
and
what
you
I'm saying?
didn't have a camp.
I ain't have no
And you
camp.
stood alone, because I know Show spoke about you being on that Philly record with Beans and Major Figures. For you, I know that was major for you because not that you needed the cosign, but you wanted the nod from them guys.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yo, we both got the same goal, which is to rep Philly.
And not really from them, because, you know what I mean, even back then, it's like you felt you was hotter than anybody.
That's
you know
a
what I'm saying?
fact.
So it wasn't, it was like, okay, I'm getting on the record. If they'd have put me on the record with Hove,
Right.
I would have felt like Hove
And
about to catch something.
And I'm
you
going
know
to
what
tell you,
saying?
at that time,
But
like I said,
wanted their listeners.
Right.
I wanted
That's
their
true.
fans approved.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's it.
And I'm gonna say this too, like, what's your relationship with Canibus today? And that's the one part question. Second part question is, people say you and Canibus went y'all separate ways because you didn't want to sign a record deal with him. So answer the first question, your relationship today, and the second question is,
right now, our relationship today, I would say, is a mutual respect and love. You know what I'm
okay, so
saying?
you spoke to him?
I didn't speak to him in about 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
The last time I spoke to him about 4, maybe a little before my daughter actually was born. We had like a 2-hour conversation.
That's dope.
And before then, we had another conversation, which was like a year before then, because I did a record on his From Whom the Beast Told. One of the
one of his albums,
on Stomp on Your Brain. So I had, we built, and he sent me a record, and we did a record for that.
Okay.
But the last time we spoke, it was just love. We just catching up.
Right.
And I was asking him, like, matter of fact, it was after his battle with the notebook thing, pulling out the book bag.
Yeah. So you reached out to him after that?
Yeah, well, we had a mutual homie, my man Don, who was rolling with Canibus at the time. Then Don was like, running with me, helping me do some things. My man. And Don put us in touch. Okay. So me and Canibus talk about, and I brought it up, or he brought it up. I forgot how it came up, but right now I would like to say, you know what I mean? It's a respect. It's a thoroughness. Like anybody that gave me a play back then, you know what I'm saying? As I'm older now and I look back,
that was a hell of a cosign.
It was a nice cosign, because he didn't have to do nothing.
I was about to tell you, like,
he didn't have to do nothing.
At the end of the day, I mean, you did what you had to do as a spitter, as an artist. You went in there and you left it all on the floor. Yeah. But that was what he did was what the game was built on. Yeah. He solidified you with the cosign for life.
Fact.
Like, nobody can take away that moment on the crew tape, because to me that was one of the most special moments for Philly. Fact. Because not too many niggas can rhyme after Canibus.
That's true, man.
How many dudes you heard that when Canibus verse went off, you wanted to play theirs? Right. Fact. You know what I'm saying? Fact. So when that big A, like, fact, what you did to that,
and no, that's a great point,
I can't look. You know how the drink tramps give the OGs they flowers? That's why I brought you here today. Right, I wanted to give you your flowers, man, bro. Because listen,
absolutely,
nobody can take nothing from our careers, bro. We were 17, 18-year-old kids running around with a dream, and for us to grace 106 in Park, BET, Source magazines, get deals, do songs with MOP and everybody else, like, you know what I'm saying? Flashy had DMX cell phone number, man. Him and DMX hang together. Like, we came from a small closet recording. Fact. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. No, that's true. And imagine if we had the video camera.
That's what I mean.
Back then, taping his whole journey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It would be that much more, like, you know what I mean? But it's still in the books. Right. You know what I'm saying? But this was before everything was put on forefront now.
All right, I got 2 more questions, and I'm gonna let you go.
No, whatever.
At one point, when the deal, you was riding really high on the deal. I was around. You had the Lincoln Navi. You know, everything was going good. You going radio. I never forget. I used to call you. Used to be like, "Yo, I'm about to go Cosmic, so I'm about to go to 100.3. They want me to freestyle tonight." You was moving and shaking. You was living that record deal life. But then it was the time I spoke to you where the deal went away. You know what I'm saying? And I think in interviews you never really touched on it, but you had went through a phase where, you know, you was a good dude. Like you didn't smoke weed like that, but you started going down that path of smoking. And I think you had told me one time, like, cats around your way thought that you was losing weight from just doing drugs or depression. And then that turned into you becoming a gym rat.
Right, yeah.
You feel me?
Fact.
So what, I want to know what, like when the deal dried up and things didn't go right with the deal and management, like what was going through your mind at that time? Like
it was like it was a blow, man.
Yeah.
It definitely was a blow. And it's crazy. I started smoking after the deal, but I was still with my management and everything.
Right.
We were still recording. Me and Jay, we were still tight and working because at that time I think Jay and Troy Carter, they joint.
Okay.
And I remember Free and Most Wanted. Everybody was like a
came
fan.
through. Yeah.
And I remember Most Wanted. That's when I started. I think I started smoking around with Most Wanted and would bring Tree and stuff.
Right.
I think I was probably already drinking.
Right.
But before then, when me and you first met, I didn't do nothing.
Nothing.
I didn't drink. I was still an athlete.
You was
like,
an athlete.
Basketball.
Yep. Laid back.
Yeah. So it's like, man, when I lost the deal.
Yeah.
Well, really not lost the deal. Like, again, salute to Kadar, man. He gave me an option, you know what I'm saying? And I, being a little upset, I chose to step away, like thinking, reacting without thinking.
Without really thinking it over.
And, just being a little bitter, but I did go through a dark phase, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I went through a dark phase, and like my little cousin and my cousin Ty and they used to have a group that they used to rock with. My mom lived on 24th.
Right.
And, I was trying to put in, even with the corp, with different groups, I was trying to really pour into artists. You know what I'm saying? With Ace Leon and different artists and Gia Khan, rest in peace. Different artists that I was, we already had a play with the corporation when I was signed.
We was just waiting for you to do what you need to do.
But when I lost the deal, I was still trying to figure it out. Okay, should I take the management route? Should I?
Right.
It was just so much going on, Grant. It's like I did go into a moment of like just down.
Right.
But it was the weight loss was just from me smoking from morning to night. And then I got a plug on some weed.
Yeah.
And I started hustling weed. So it got crazy to the point where I was, and then I looked up. I'm like, how I get from there to here? Not even had nothing to do with the music.
That's true.
But I started feeling like I was going backwards. Because one thing I said, like, even when I was, doing my little 1-2, down my end, then I moved to Chop.
Right.
And then I got a deal. Like some of my folk, my bros and some of them would be like, yo, we gonna get work. And I should I'm not gonna do that with the money.
With
because
the deal.
I don't feel like I want to go backwards.
Right.
Like my whole mission was always to come up out of the hood through music.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? And I did that, thankfully. Thank God. I kind of messed it up with a lot of my decisions.
Right.
And
you remember you was young, though.
I was young. I was young.
Yeah.
But, a lot of the stuff that, so I started feeling like I went from this point to there, and I just felt out of place, man.
Right.
So it was like some stress, a lot of stress.
Yeah. Then I guess that made you say, I'm gonna get fit. I'm gonna get back into the gym.
Yeah, and salute my man Mikkel, actually. Yeah. So my man Mikkel, my man Mikkel used to come around. He used to see me. I used to, be around. And that's another thing. I had moved back with my mom. Like, it's like my money just was trickling and trickling and trickling.
Right.
And it even got me to a point where it was like, damn, I should have caught work. You know what I'm saying? Right. But then
you got that image to live up to. Everybody know that you got the Navi. You on TV.
Ain't nothing worse than being known and broke. You know what I'm saying?
Fact. Famously broke.
Famously broke. But so and that's when I started getting the plug. I got a plug in with the tree. You know what I'm saying? It's a weed. So I bounced back, you know what I
Right.
mean? Bounced back, but I was still smoking. So
Right.
I was selling, we was getting
Selling
a couple
weed and
pounds.
using it, yeah.
Now I'm selling weed and smoking, but my man Mikkel is coming around and be like, Jaren, what you doing, man?
Right.
You gotta stop smoking, you gotta stop smoking. Mikkel,
Right.
he's a vegan, you know what
Right.
I'm saying, vegetarian, so he got
Right.
me. I never ate beef and pork.
Right.
I ain't eat beef and pork in about 30 years.
Wow.
Like, I used to eat pork as a kid, but,
Right.
so I didn't eat beef before my man Kel bumped into me. I wasn't eating beef for like 20 years.
Right.
So, long story short, man, he used to take me to the park and we used to do the Rough Rider.
Right.
He showed me all the Rough Rider videos, the pull-up
Okay.
bars. So I used to be on the pull-up bars. He punching
Right.
my stomach, and
Right.
Kel's kind of big, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we doing all these workouts, and I did a year of that, and I had stopped smoking. Then my man Ant, they was already going to the gym, so we went to sweat, and I just fell in love, man.
Right,
Like, we put a 3-month goal there. He said, damn, we going to go 3 months. And, it was kind of crazy. I turned into Incredible Hulk. Like, I didn't think I would get that big.
Right.
Like,
Right. I remember
I'm like
when I
twice the
seen you.
size
When I seen you, I said,
yeah, it was crazy, man. It
"Damn,
was,
son!" Like, but I mean, I knew you had to do something to bring you out of whatever you was in, and you found the gym, which was
definitely,
health.
yeah,
Health
that
is
was-
wealth.
yeah,
You know what
no,
I mean?
That's true.
All right.
It relieves a lot of stress.
That's true. All right, so two questions, and we out of here. Your daughter,
Keep saying
your
that.
daughter. I'm
How
sorry,
many
sorry
How
about that.
many
You know,
juice up, man.
listen, I ain't
Juice
seen
up.
this man. How long has it been? About 10 years.
Longer than that, bro.
Yo,
Yeah,
listen.
longer than that.
You had a beautiful daughter.
Right.
To
thank
this
God.
day, how old is she now?
She 9.
She 9.
Yeah.
So I remember you had a daughter years ago, and at that time when I seen you, you got the gym, you became a father. I was like, all right, this is where he gonna turn all this shit around. You know what I'm saying? Because he got a little girl. You feel me? So tell me about that experience briefly, like being a father. The mother.
Yeah,
what
it
happened
kinda-
with all of that.
I was juggling because I was still doing, I was taking trips with me, Jan, and us. We was doing the bungee stuff
Right,
around
right,
it before my daughter came.
Okay.
So I was taking them trips. Actually, me, Jan, and Majors, and all of
Right.
us, we went to Maryland. We was
Yeah,
moving. We
Y'all
was moving around.
Yeah.
And it was a sense of freedom that I had.
And you
when my
fell
daughter
back
came
into the music.
absolutely, man. I felt like, you know what I mean? I felt back at home, something I was missing. And then when my daughter, when I found out I was going to have a daughter,
Right.
it kind of told me, okay, I got to go harder now.
That's a fact.
So now me, my daughter's mom, we was working it out and trying to, I was trying to do the family thing
Right.
and just juggling. And then I said, you know what? I got to sacrifice. So the music stopped eventually. Or it trickled down. It didn't
Right.
stop automatically, but it trickled down, and I just started pouring everything into, as much as I could, into fatherhood.
Right.
And then what took me all the way off the music was more so my spiritual journey that I told myself that I had to get on. So I had to get back focused with God, man.
Right.
And I, you know what I mean? Because I was just, God blessed me. He turned something that probably was just me doing something. I didn't plan to have a daughter, but it's the best thing that ever happened. So
Y'all got a good relationship? Like y'all do visitation now?
yeah,
Like,
absolutely,
every
man.
weekend,
Man, her
every
mom
other
cordial.
weekend,
Yeah,
or-
I see my daughter. I'm thankful, man.
Yeah.
Her mom, she's not a bad mom at all.
Right.
She, we butt heads.
Right.
But as far as her, you know what I'm saying? I know some mom, when I say she's not a bad mom, I know some moms who put their baby fathers through it more.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So as I got older and I had to start telling myself, listen, man, at the end of the day, it ain't about me or you, it's about my daughter. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So,
Just
it
keep it
is
like
what it
that.
is. So now I'm able to see my daughter. I see my daughter whenever I want. I see my daughter every day.
That's
I
dope.
mean, and
So
we
she
just gotta.
she live around your what? She in your end?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, well, my daughter's. No, we don't live together.
No, I'm talking about like she live around the way, like somewhere in Philly, like.
Oh
close.
yeah, absolutely,
Okay, all right,
absolutely,
okay.
yeah, absolutely. So it's like, I'm able to have that relationship with her, and she understands. Actually, my daughter is on this new project, man. She
Oh, that's
rapping.
dope.
Yeah,
She
rapping.
doing a
And
little poetry, or she dropped some bars.
She's rapping, and she wanted to rap.
Oh,
Like,
is
she
that
said,
right?
yeah. She
Oh,
came
she got
to me.
it honest though, man.
Yeah, but I would never tell her like, yo, you should rap, like, because
Right.
I know the game is so
Right,
crazy.
right.
But she was just like, one day she was like, Daddy, I want to, you know what I mean? And I said, all right, let me hear something. So she started coming up with bars. She nice though.
Oh, that's fine.
Like she was, I'm driving, I turn around, she like right, she like erasing bars.
Yo, that's crazy.
That's
So we
dope.
got a joint called Another Journey.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that. So listen, and you know, this is such an alley-oop.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna segue into your new project that you got. You
Love,
talk about.
yeah, so-
see how we came all the way down.
Oh man, nah, what I tell you, I
Yeah.
say, Grant, I say, yo, it's like you was destined to do this,
I
man.
hope so,
You be doing
man.
right.
But
Y'all
it-
chemistry be dope too.
Yeah,
I watched
yeah.
the joints. I said, that's dope, man.
So yeah, so just let us know about your mental health project that you got going on, where people can potentially find it at, and how it came.
Well, yeah,
to
so
fruition.
mental health always kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I had real close homies who suffered from it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Actually, the verse that was on the single that they played on 106 in Park,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? With suicide, my
Okay.
man committed suicide, whatever. So it's like, I feel a lot of, you know what I mean? There's a lot of mental issues going on in the street, bro, to be
Right.
honest, man. So many people suffer from PTSD, man.
Right.
Like, we don't even diagnose ourselves, but it's definitely what it is.
Yeah.
It's like traumatization that you done seen, all of us
Yeah.
in here. At 12 years old, I saw somebody get shot in the head, man.
That's crazy.
And the craziest part is, I was coming out of a store with an ice cream.
Right.
As I seen a nigga get shot in the head.
Dropped it.
No, I didn't drop it. I stood there, and I walked back on the block and started
Like it
minding
was
your
regular.
business.
like it never
Like
happened.
Right,
Yeah,
like
you
it was
should-
regular.
But that's not normal.
It's not right.
That's
but
not
in
normal.
the
though.
hood, it's mind your business.
Not
or
normal.
It'll be you.
Right, but the point that I'm making is people see that too much, too often,
Fact.
and you wonder why it's so many killings or why it's traumatization.
Right.
We got people from our era, especially with the kids, they see way more. Like, so the kids now, you see an 18-year-old and you wonder how he could shoot. They traumatized,
That's
bro.
true.
And it's like, how do you fix it? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So this album, like, it's based on like suicide,
Yeah.
just post trauma,
Yeah.
any type of mental issue.
Right.
You being screamed at from
Your dad, mom, yeah.
your dad, your mom, your husband, your wife. That's all trauma.
That's
You know what I'm saying? Trauma ain't always just a physical thing.
Right.
I mean, it could be verbal things. Somebody screaming at you every day for years.
Yeah.
You're gonna be on edge, man. You know what I mean? There's certain triggers, something to
Right.
trigger you. Might be screaming. You might see somebody else fighting that trigger you.
Yeah.
Road rage. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's different things.
So let me ask you this though, and then we're gonna go. Is there a market for that type of album, or is this a personal album?
It's a personal album.
Okay, that's what I wanted
Because
to
it's
ask.
probably like people probably looking at it like, I don't want to hear that, but guess what?
Right.
Now, like Doc told me something.
Yeah.
I had to actually salute
Okay.
that I had a conversation with Doc, man.
Right.
Like, who could say that? You know what I'm saying?
That's
Doc.
legendary.
And he was telling me, he said, Jerm, he said, do it for a cause and not be cause. I never knew
like
what he
that.
meant.
I like that.
You understand? I'm young. I said, okay.
Yeah.
Doc said it, okay, cool.
Right.
But now I can't do music unless it's for a cause, bro.
That's true.
Like, I
'Cause
mean,
before we was shooting up the club and killing people, selling
Right.
drugs,
Exactly.
messing with everybody, girl.
right.
That's the message we was putting out.
And I'm gonna be honest with
Yeah.
you. You know what I'm saying? Like, my music never been too edgy to where it's like, you know what I mean? I always had, like, even if you listen to Getting the Games Confused,
Right.
Scribes of Life, it was still a lesson in
Yeah,
it.
you
like,
always had like,
thought-provoking music. You know what I'm saying? So
thought-provoking
it's like,
bars,
you know, and if we talked about it's stuff that we seen or been between, you know what I mean?
That's a
It wasn't
fact.
something that was, super far-fetched, but it's like now,
yeah.
if it's not pushing our culture or something forward, and this is not knocking anybody,
Right.
bro. I'm not judgmental. I'm not knocking anybody. It's just me personally. I have to do more for a cause instead of because with my gift.
Right.
Like, it's like riding a bike. Thank God.
Right.
Is
Right. And do you worry about age? Because Juicy thinks
I
that because
always try-
I'm in my
yeah, she
40s
made us.
now.
She told
that
us she was
told
born
me, she said,
91.
bruh, like she
Right.
called me Unc, like Unc.
But you look the same, bro.
I appreciate it.
You
I
look
was
the same,
minus,
bro.
I still
Don't-
got the baldy, but I mean, at the end of the day,
But
it's
you
just
ain't
like,
got super grades.
no.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
try
You
to take care of myself. You know what I mean?
You
Getting
aging
the gym.
gracefully.
Yeah.
Age don't really mean nothing.
What's
now,
the
bro.
age?
Age don't
What's
mean
the
nothing.
age you can stop rapping at?
It's
Now-
certain people who shouldn't rap at 40.
All
I
right,
don't
go
care
ahead.
what you say. It's
Go
certain
ahead.
people that shouldn't rap. Now, you still got it, cool. But when it's time to throw in the towel, you need to know it's time to throw
Okay.
it in.
I am
I'm
mad
about to
at
say.
that,
So
Juice.
what make you say that? Is Is it the physical appearance?
No, they
or
just
is it the sound of the
ask.
music? Oh, damn. Okay.
What she says to what?
She says it's the sound. It's the sound of the music.
ass.
Oh,
The
so you
shit
think
just
that
be
they be
rapping.
coming out the hall? They never thought that. You think
It's
they start
not,
rapping like that?
even, it's not even old school. If it's good, it's good. But
Right.
if it's ass, it's ass.
This
Just
ass
stop.
is
Just
Juicy's
cut
a
it out.
very. She can never be an A&R because she
need
gonna
that,
hurt
though.
feelings.
You
though.
You
that
need somebody,
reality.
right?
Yeah,
You need
yeah.
somebody that
Like,
can
stop.
give you
She's a
reality.
terrible A&R. I mean, she gonna break your heart. You go in there with a big dream. She be like this. You ass,
Yeah, right.
dog. I'm sorry. You're not gonna make it.
And
Go
I'm
back
going to tell you, you're
Right.
not good.
Damn. But they might need that tough
See, but I
love.
got
You know what
friends
I'm
who
saying?
rap too, and I'll go in the studio with them, and I'll
Right.
be like,
Oh,
that ain't it.
Yeah. That's
But see,
dope. I respect that.
Juicy
though.
is the reason when I first started why I wouldn't rap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
'Cause she's
That's
that
what I'm
one.
saying.
Because
She's
I'm gonna kill you,
Like,
shit. Like,
listen,
oh,
I'm
you
not-
bugging. What was? Say that
She ain't
again.
gonna
Right,
kill my
right.
dream. You know what I mean?
Right. All right. So in closing, what's the name of the project?
It's called the Chesterfield Dialogue.
Okay, and
Yeah,
will that
produced
be
by
on,
Logic.
Will that be on all streaming platforms?
Yeah, all
Doing it
streaming
that?
platforms,
All right,
yeah.
and are you going to promote more on social media? Because
Yeah, I need to do that,
you
man.
got to.
I need to do that,
Got
bro.
to, Jaron.
And it's
People
crazy.
wanna know where
you
you
know
at.
it's right.
Social media is where it's at now.
Nah,
That's
that's
how
true.
you get on without a record label,
That's
without
true.
anything.
And you could be
social
an
media,
old You know what it is?
on
social
there.
media will do it for you.
And you know what
go.
it is? I don't do music. Now listen, I don't turn around no opportunity, no
Right.
blessing, none of that. But I'm not at a stage I don't do music to get on. I'm already on. Like
That's
you
true.
already on.
Yeah.
Once
no,
you've been
definitely.
on, you on.
Definitely.
I mean, what makes you, you know,
But
I
to
think,
stay relevant, social media.
1
is-
second.
yeah, I mean,
You got a question? Okay.
my fault. Yeah.
Oh no.
As
Finish,
far
finish.
no, the relevancy is like is in your mind. Like what would you consider being relevant? Like somebody might like this podcast.
I'm saying, but you see how he said everybody like, oh, where you find him at?
Yeah, true.
yeah, that's
And
right.
you coming out with a project, ain't nobody gonna know about it if you don't promote it.
No,
There
absolutely.
you go.
But what I'm saying is like, no, that's fact.
Yeah.
But it's like now, so it's like, I couldn't find myself just being on social media for no reason. Like, okay, why am I on here? I'm putting pictures of my food. Like,
No, but
That's
I'm
right.
saying
I
that's
get
her.
that. I
but
get
that's
that.
I gotta
the way,
find out
Jaron.
how to.
I
Yeah, I
get
don't know how to
that.
do that.
You
know
are
what I'm saying?
an artist. Go ahead, babe. Go ahead.
But to stay relevant, you just
Okay,
post
right.
that. Done, I'm in New York today.
There you go.
Hey,
You know-
I'm
you
in
know
the
what's
studio
crazy?
today.
That's fact though,
got-
and that's
gotta do
fact.
it,
Like the social media is like a phone number now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you what's crazy on the flip side of that. Attention is a drug.
It is.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So
That is
too
true.
many people want attention. You know what I mean? Like me, I love to be appreciated. I love
Right.
my gift to be appreciated.
Right.
Whether it's doing something with some other business things I got going on, I love for that to be appreciated and noticed and all of that. But I don't need unwanted attention. I never did. You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel you because I'm the same way.
Same
Yeah.
way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most people are, but you got a lot of people who love
I'm just saying,
attention,
but
you
as
know
an
what I mean?
artist nowadays, you know, you still have fans.
Right.
And you got to understand your fans is looking for you.
Absolutely, man.
And they
So,
can't
I
find
gotta
you.
give
They
them
can't
that.
find you.
And-
If
right, that's
your
true.
fans want to know what Jern looked like in 2023. They
That's
want
true.
to know. They want to see you in the gym. They
Right.
want to see you throw your artwork up. They want to know, like, yo, like he stood the test of time.
Dope.
So that's why I'm trying to tell you.
No,
like,
that's
it's,
fact.
It's
That's
important.
fact,
You
bro.
have a duty. See, once we come out and say, hey, I'm a rapper, I'm this and that, you got to take the claps and the boos. You feel me? So we can't go into hiding. Because you have a duty to get that message to people.
But
You know what I'm saying?
No,
You
absolutely.
do.
But it's not even hiding.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just
not
saying, when
even
you told
hiding.
me
It's
yesterday
like-
I ain't posting 4 years, I'm like, you journalist.
Yeah, but it's like post why?
All right, go ahead.
I'm not even doing music, so I don't. You know what I mean? This
Yeah.
is none of your.
It's more of a
respectfully,
life.
It's none of your
It's
business
more of a
what I'm doing.
lifestyle now.
You know what I'm saying?
But it ain't about just the music no more. Now.
Right.
And now this era, it's about your
about
lifestyle.
lifestyle.
It's a
But
little
that's
bit of
crazy though,
everything.
right?
Now you can sell your lifestyle, and they'll be like, "Yo, Jern look great. He throwing up them plates." And now you can say, "My single out now."
But I definitely agree with that. But
Yeah.
but long as there's a purpose behind it, you feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Go ahead.
That's all I'm saying.
That was going to be my question for you. You seem like you at peace.
Right.
That
Like you seem real calm, like just
He
laid
always been
back.
like
fact.
that.
Rick.
So like, how does that? How did you get to that point? That's the question that I was trying to figure out.
Right.
Because artists, you know, we hear other podcasters and people talk about they don't rap and write rhymes and stuff. But as a creative, like, how did you get to that point where you could just be calm, cool, collective, and just not
Graham-
even really deal with the whole social media?
And Graham hit a good point. I always been like kind of introverted type boy, like
His nickname is
low
Whispers.
key, right? Can't remember Whispers, right? That's fact. Always been like kind of like
Yeah,
you know,
laid
mild man,
back.
low key type guy. But as of most recently, I would say to God be the glory, man. Like God, like definitely put me at a peace of mind.
Right.
Because just to be honest, bro, I would say anybody that had any type of success or fame, I don't care what you do,
Right.
and you get to a certain level, and you feel like you're not at that place anymore, it can mess with you mentally. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, whether it's the position, the money, you know what I mean, or whatever it is, at some point it'll mess with you mentally. I know with me, just them rides alone, especially if you smoke. So I had a lot of time to be in my mind years back, and I was just telling myself, man, like, did I fail myself? You know what I'm saying? Did I fail this person? And like, to God be the glory on a lot of that, man. Like, he's the rock. So he's the one I could depend on and just keep my peace. Like, that's dope. That's to God be glory.
I got one more question off of that. I don't mean to
You
jump
know
in.
what? Y'all need one more question.
I
you
took that
you
from-
don't do.
Look.
I like doing
I
everything.
appreciate it.
She like,
I
this
took
gotta
that-
go.
Juice like, listen, I
This
got
the last one. I took this from Grant.
Guys, get out of here.
Because I'm big on mental health as well.
Dope.
So my question was, you hit on something about, you know, smoking, coming out of that, working out, having people around you, all of that stuff. I've heard Graham speak to what he just said earlier, like, it's nothing worse than being a broke rapper or a broke entertainer. Like, when you finally hit that wall where you felt like whatever in your mind where you were, did you feel trapped in that, and were you still chasing it? Or did you get to a point where, like, what was the point where you felt like you could just
question.
like shed all of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, get past that.
Right, that's a good question, bro. I mean, it took years because you feel that you owe this image. You know what I'm saying? Because people, like, even you know, jobs I had to get or whatever, or places I'll be, and it's like, ain't you Jern? Like, you look familiar.
Right.
Like, and it bring back everything that you try to push out. So you had to really tell yourself, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, your past is your past. You can't change it, but you got to accept it. You know what I mean? Because it was a blessing too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't want to use the term gift and curse, because it really wasn't a curse. You know what I mean? It's just a period in time that's in the history books, and it got me to where I'm at now. So once I had to just come in terms with myself, you look yourself in the mirror and it's like, this is what it is. You still blessed. You know what I mean? You have a daughter. You got different things that you look forward to and that you can look at is success. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it's a facade of what people consider success, right?
That's true.
Now I done sat around. Now I can never say I had the most money, or but Graham would tell you, we done sat around so many people that people look at and stare at like they're in a fishbowl. But these people are just like us. They get up every day and they got to thank God, if they smart, to thank God that they was able to wake up. So it's like, what do we level with success?
Right.
You successful right now.
Yeah, you got
You
your
know
own
what I mean?
business. You know what I mean?
And beyond any of that, the
Yeah.
fact that me and you conversing, that's a blessing.
Right.
And then you add on everything else. That's overflow. You feel what I'm saying? So we good.
So 2 more questions.
Everybody telling to be patient, but I'm knee deep in the creek and my north face is wasteland. Brought it from the basement adjacent to Jason Voorhees. Forget a door key, I'm a break that. Title for the taking.
Yeah, this
I'm
was
like
episode
Iron Michael in the
93,
making.
Scribes
Making my
Life,
turkey
with my
bacon
brother
out of
journalist,
Nathan.
man. I felt like we had some good, insightful moments. Juicy-Jaleen, I know you can't wait to go home, right?
Yeah, because I just was here as a prop today.
Yeah, no. Sometimes at the end of the day, like I came unprepared. You know what I mean? Inshallah, I came unprepared, but I had some personal things going on where I couldn't sit down there. And then there was so much with me and you, that history, that it's like I couldn't write that down. You know how like it flowed today?
Right.
I couldn't put that on paper.
Right.
Because it was just like our conversations. I wanted our conversations to be organic.
Absolutely. It wouldn't have felt right.
And I think it was organic
bro.
today. And you
Like
know, we
catching
were always blessed with your presence. You know what I mean?
Then Juice, you said, who this boy? You ain't even know.
Yeah, Juicy don't be knowing half these guys that come up here, but she always, you know, she greets them and respects them, but you know, at the same time, this was personal.
Dang, on camera?
She said 91. Do the
Like,
math.
nah, I'm 31.
Oh, you old. You up there, man. You made it like you 22. You up there.
But anyway,
You should know, man.
Yeah, like I told y'all, this is episode 93, Scribes of Life with my homeboy journalist, Juicy-Jaleen, and we out. Big shout to my man Rick on the camera. We out.